Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism, narcissistic abuse, toxic people, and toxic relationships. It's my hope that the content on this channel helps you learn to walk through, manage, and heal from these relationships. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and join us. And if you're interested in doing more heavy work on healing, please go to the video notes. We'll be starting a new, more sort of a different kind of a healing program that's more intensive. Go there and get more information. On this channel, we talk about how people largely manage their existing narcissistic relationships, but I also believe there needs to be more attention on how to avoid getting into new ones. This is a concept I call gatekeeping. And by and large, the people who keep flowing into new narcissistic relationships are often those who do not fully understand not only narcissism, but trauma bonding. And I say this as someone who continues to get ensnared by narcissists. I got to tell you, I'm getting quicker on the draw at getting them out. And I, though, have to say, in trying to avoid narcissists, I admittedly am more isolated than I ever have been. Narcissism is seemingly more and more observed in adults, I'm encountering at least, so I just have really tall walls these days. Keeping new narcissistic people out of your life is difficult. It means a willingness to recognize red flags as early as possible, to maintain hefty boundaries until trust is slowly earned, to not justify bad behavior or be pressured to justify it by enablers and other people who tell you to just give them another chance. We all make mistakes. Being a gatekeeper means feeling cut off, cynical, and to be prepared for people to call you out as closed off, unkind, and untrusting. It means literally going against the grain of what you want to do, especially if you are empathic, and in essence, you are trading one discomfort for another. You are either tolerating the discomfort of enduring the narcissist's manipulations and entitlement and BS, or you are tolerating the discomfort of swimming away from your trauma bonds and doing things that don't just sort of feel like they come naturally. Neither is easy. It takes time and practice to set a boundary, to tolerate the discomfort, and then reflect after the fact that you took the better path. New narcissistic people can enter your life in many ways. Workplace relationships, maybe meeting people through settings like a child's school, your religious community, or even meeting someone at a party or gathering. Obviously, if you are dating, there are numerous cracks in the wall where a new narcissist can enter as well. But there is another way that narcissistic people enter your life that we could almost view as a very unguarded and secret backdoor that you're not paying attention to. That is other people. Other people you know can become the bridge to toxic people. This is the story I see play out for so many survivors. They go through narcissistic abuse. They really commit to the work to avoid ongoing narcissistic abuse. They heal. They recover. They slowly trust their instincts. They may still have in their life, obviously, friends or family members they trust. And through these trusted people, they get introduced to new people through them. When other people are telling you, hey, I have this amazing friend, or I know this cool person, or this person I know does stuff that's related to what you do, and you could learn from each other. You two should get together because I think you'd have an amazing collaboration. I cannot tell you how many times that this has tripped people up and gotten them back into the narcissistic mud again. That empathic part of you that obviously trusts your friend and wants to believe your friend has a good person for you to meet. That part of you may say, sure, I'll meet your friend or this cool person you know, but alas, if your friend is not as schooled in narcissism and high conflict personalities as you are, they may just not have a good eye. Also, if you are in the early phases of healing from narcissistic abuse, you are still trying to unstick your trauma bonds, and as a result, you may be vulnerable too. And not only may your friend not get it, your radar may still be getting dusted off. This scenario of other people being a bridge to toxic people has actually been a primary reason for several narcissistic relationships or encounters even I personally have had. It's interesting to me how many people out there derive their identity from being connectors. Methinks maybe they've read a little too much Malcolm Gladwell. They have an almost obsessive zeal to be networks and introduce people and create collaborations and friendships. Maybe in some cases they're busybodies. Sometimes they do right by you, but sometimes they can feel like annoying matchmakers. Instead of bringing people together to date, they think they are doing you a favor by introducing you to a new collaborator or a person who lives in your neighborhood. Again, sometimes they're very well intended. However, the difficulty is these connectors in your world, I don't know, for some reason, perhaps they may have a lovely relationship with person A. Maybe that's because person A is getting something or benefiting somehow from your friend. But person A is actually not very nice. So when person A gets connected with you, and there isn't much benefit there for person A, you may get a far more toxic version. In fact, that person A may just agree to meet you to keep your mutual friend happy. The disappointing part can be how defensive some connectors can be, the bridges to these narcissists, how defensive they become. Things like, I didn't know, I'm so sorry, I thought I was doing you a favor. It's a little bit manipulative, by the way. And listen, and not everyone in your life who is a narcissistic person bridge is wanting to cause you problems. In fact, I would argue almost none of them are. It just so happens that they want to connect you to someone in a really well-intended way, but they only see a slice of the person. Your friend may truly believe they are doing a good thing. The challenge is that your guard may be down when this person gets introduced to you by your friend. And then you get to the point that I am now at, where I am very slow to warm up with new people. It's not a nice way to go through life, but it's a lot safer than the way I've been living. Optimistic, cheerful, very positive friends are often the bridge to new narcissistic people in your life. They just don't see it. I am not going to be so uncharitable as to call them enablers per se. I just really don't think they see it. They think they're doing something good, and they truly think that they're doing you a favor. Until you've been through narcissistic abuse, I don't know that people ever fully get it. And so the optimistic folks often think they're doing you a favor with these introductions. In several experiences, I have to say, more often than not when this happens to people, the introduction is professional. One professional may say, hey, I know someone who could help you get financing or who could help you brand your concept or give you guidance. Again, there should be walls and radar need to be up, whether a friend made the introduction or not. A red flag is a red flag. To say, when this kind of thing has happened to me, this friend of a friend I got introduced to will often charge far more for their services than others who would do something similar. So even at the fee basis, if you do get introduced through a friend, make sure you get multiple bids if this is for a paid service, because it may very well be this friend of a friend may overcharge you. Every human relationship has a blind spot and a piece that doesn't fit in the relationship. We just work around it. Even some of the people I love most in the world, the work is for me to be honest with myself about the piece that doesn't fit, even with people I adore. We may not fit around political ideology. It may be a quirk that one of us has. It may be that their values deviate from mine. It may be that we simply eat in completely different ways. It may be many things, and we don't fit perfectly. I always try to ensure in my most dear relationships that there is the important stuff, the empathy, the compassion, the love, kindness, respect. And when that is there, I can tolerate eating the sugarless cake that they've made for me. But those blind spots mean that someone they think is great and you got to meet this person may actually be unhealthy or narcissistic. It takes a minute to say, this person I love, we still view the world differently. It means that with some of my friends, I sometimes skip their parties. I adore the friend. I don't really like their friends. It means that with some of my friends, I politely nod when they offer up a person that they think would be so great for me to talk with, but then I sort of forget to follow up on the contact. It means that I have friends who want me to read a book or a website or watch some video that I know is in conflict with what would help me, and I thank them, and I probably take a pass. The work is getting to know ourselves. We don't need to disrespect these friends and say, I think all of your friends are all petty, vapid people, but we can say, I love you so much. I need to take a pass on this event, but let's talk soon, and then actually follow up with them. We have to pay attention to these nuances because once you have been through narcissistic abuse, your system isn't designed to go through it again. It's like breaking a leg twice. The second break is going to be far worse, or having a second heart attack. Your heart is much weaker, and you may not survive. So survivors need to protect themselves. Just because someone you like says that they have a person that you have to meet, it doesn't mean it will be safe. You have to be as guarded, open-eyed, aware, and red flag spotting as if this was a stranger. And always honor your gut and push back on that uncomfortable, empathic thing of not wanting to let your friend down. You do you first. As I said, I have experienced this a fair amount in the last few years. People I trusted bringing some really toxic people into my life. And I actually had to give myself a good look in the mirror and remember that it really is the story of the 5 blind men and the elephant. You know, when 5 blind men touch the elephant and they all think it's different things. We all experience and perceive different things in people and experience them differently. And frankly, if you haven't been through narcissistic abuse, you don't fully get it. Healing, a big part of healing, is about gatekeeping. No matter who's introducing you to a new person, always remember that. And as always, when I mention healing, I'm going to remind you that is hard work, intensive program, starting soon. Go to those video notes, get that link, and I hope you can join us.